Assalamu alaikum viewers. Welcome to Motor Solutions with me Zuhail Ashok. Viewers, as you all know, Motor Solutions is a knowledge-based program where we discuss insurance industry and the claim industry itself. And to assist me, like always, I have one of my regular guests join me today, Mr. Sam Harris. As you all know, Mr. Sam Harris is a very experienced solicitor. He's been in the industry for a very long time, and he also been assisting me on this program from very beginning. Mr. Sam Harris, thank you for joining Motor Solutions once again.
Thank you very much. Good to be back. I've been here for a while.
Thank you. Yes, it's been quite a while. We all missed you. So
I missed the show.
I'm glad that you're back.
Good.
দর্শক আপনারা এই প্রোগ্রাম যারা রেগুলার দেখেন আপনারা সবাই জানেন এই প্রোগ্রামে আমরা কি ধরনের বিষয় নিয়ে আলোচনা করি। আমাদের আজকের টপিক হচ্ছে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ক্লেইমস। অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ক্লেইমসের মধ্যে যে আপনাদের যে কোনো কোয়েশ্চন যদি থাকে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ক্লেইম সম্বন্ধে আপনারা যে কোনো কিছু হতে পারে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ডিসপিউটস or any claims, pending claims, or any problems that you're having with the TPI, third-party insurance company, or even if you have any problem with your acting solicitors, please do call. আপনারা এই স্ক্রিনের মধ্যে যে নাম্বারটা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন আপনারা এই নাম্বারে ফোন করলে সরাসরি স্টুডিওতে আমাদের সাথে কথা বলতে পারবেন। তাছাড়া আপনারা আমাদের কাছে এসএমএসও করতে পারেন। আপনারা স্ক্রিনে যে মোবাইল নাম্বারটা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন ওই নাম্বারে এসএমএসও আমাদের কাছে পাঠাতে পারবেন। তাছাড়া আমাদের ইমেল করতে পারবেন। ইমেল অ্যাড্রেস হচ্ছে motorsolutions@ntveurope.net. Sam, we want to talk about a lot about accident claims. Now, to start off with, is there anything that you would want to talk specifically about any sort of upcoming changes in the industry that everybody should be aware of?
Well, there are a lot of changes, possible changes that are going to happen according to George Osborne's autumn statement, but whether they have an effect on you, the public, I don't know. One thing that might have an effect on you is the fact that you might not be able to get so much legal representation, in the fact that there won't be, if the government are trying to increase what's called the small claims limit.
Small claims limit,
which
yes.
at the present is £1,000 to £5,000. That will catch a lot of claims, and that means that solicitors don't get their costs. So it means probably solicitors aren't going to be so willing to take the claims on.
But that definitely there's going to be an effect on general public as well. If that's the case, if somebody sustain, for example, soft tissue injuries, and if the solicitors anticipate the claim is not going to exceed £5,000, then the solicitor probably not going to take the claims.
Well, you'll probably find a way that they will by taking some sort of percentage of the amount of damages. But it's true. The other suggestion by Osborne is that to ban whiplash injuries altogether, which does have an effect.
Will it ever happen though? Will it ever happen?
I mean, say it's going to happen. But it's difficult to, but then it's very difficult to define what a whiplash is. You know, whiplash manifests itself in so many different ways. It can be a minor ache in the neck, or it can be quite a serious injury that affects you seriously for a long time.
Yeah, it does. Like, for example, even somebody sustained soft tissue injuries or, for example, anxiety. Although it sounds like a very small claim, but if the government completely put a cap on it or completely stops people making a claim, wouldn't go against human rights?
You'd have thought it would do.
It would, wouldn't it?
You'd have thought it would, but it's if they make primary legislation but the definition will have to be extremely tight, and there'll be a lot of legal to and throwing about what is a whiplash, what isn't a whiplash. It's going to be difficult. I think that they probably will get I think that they have tried to put two suggestions in the mix, and one will come out. I've heard that it's the whiplash one that's going to win out, but I thought it'd be much easier for them to close down the industry if that's what they want.
Well,
they do want
but
to
the
do.
millions of people are dependent in this industry. So what's going to happen to those millions of people who've been graduated from universities, and that's the only
Well, I
job,
guess
that's the only thing they learned
That's one of the things.
to do. So we'll talk more about this.
Well, it's difficult for people like me, but it's also difficult for your public who
Yeah.
are injured.
Yeah.
But the government have obviously been persuaded by the insurance industry, but also
Yeah.
it's going to affect the insurance industry.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll talk more about this. দর্শক আপনারা দেখতেছেন মোটর সলিউশনস, আর আমাদের আজকের প্রোগ্রামে আমরা যেহেতু আমাদের নর্মালি আরেকজন গেস্ট থাকেন আমাদের সাথে মিস্টার আব্দুল সামাদ চৌধুরী সোহেল, আর আজকে ওনার ব্যক্তিগত কারণে উনি আজকের প্রোগ্রামে আসতে পারেন নাই, এই জন্য আমি এবং সাম হারিস প্রোগ্রামটা করতেছি। আজকে যেহেতু আমাদের এই প্রোগ্রামে সাম হারিস আপনারা জানেন ভেরি এক্সপিরিয়েন্স সলিসিটার, আর আমরা এই ইন্ডাস্ট্রির অনেক মোটর অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ক্লেমসের মধ্যে আপনার স্পেশালি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ক্লেমসে পার্সোনাল ইনজুরি সাইটে অনেক আপকামিং চেঞ্জ আসতেছে। আপনারা সবাই হয়তো অনেকে জানেন 2013-এ একটা চেঞ্জ এসেছিল এই ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে, ভবিষ্যতে হয়তো আরও অনেক ধরনের চেঞ্জ আসবে, বা চেঞ্জ আসলে আপনারা অ্যাজ এ মোটরিস্ট আপনারা যারা গাড়ি ড্রাইভ করেন আপনাদের রাইট সম্বন্ধে আপনাদের জানা দরকার আছে। আমরা কখনো কেউ চাই না যে কেউ অ্যাক্সিডেন্টে ইনভলভ হন, বা যদি কেউ কখনো অ্যাক্সিডেন্টে ইনভলভ হন তাহলে আপনাকে আপনার রাইট জানতে হবে। আপনি ইউ অলসো নিড টু নো what you can claim for and what you can't claim for. A lot of you believe sometimes that as soon as you get involved in an accident, you are just entitled for compensation. But I'm afraid, it actually doesn't work like that. There are a lot of rules and regulation. You have to always make sure. For example, you need to also know that whether you're getting represented by an experienced law firm or an individual lawyer. That's very important. Their knowledge is very important. Don't believe that you will get involved in an accident. It's not your fault, and you go to whoever you like, and you're going to win the case. No, it's not going to always happen, because your lawyer need to understand you properly, where you're coming from. Sometimes as an individual, you could make mistake. You could say certain things that you shouldn't be saying, but if you don't have a proper lawyer, they don't advise you accordingly. A lot of you deal with a lot of law firms. Most of the time, you just talk to them on the phone. You don't even see them. So there's hardly any relationship built. So most of the time, your lawyer also don't understand you at all. So it is very important for you to know your lawyer, the law firm, the history of them, how long they've been in the industry, and how much are they aware of all these upcoming changes. Am I right or wrong, Sam?
I think you're probably right. I don't think there's any argument that it's good to, if you can research a lawyer, or if you get word of mouth is always a good recommendation. There are good lawyers and there are bad lawyers. Like there are good and bad.
We don't always say there's bad lawyers, but what we know for a fact, when the law firm gets so busy, and if they take too many claims, and then they basically stretch the limit, and they simply can't handle all these cases, and this is where they go wrong.
I disagree. I think there probably are bad law firms and bad lawyers. I agree that one of the reasons they might be bad is because they are overstretched, but there are also different reasons as well.
Different reasons as well, and especially these days, they have to, obviously it's a number game. They don't make as much as they used to do.
Well, that's also true.
Cost ways.
But it's also true, but it's become more of a factory. But to be a lawyer in the personal injury business now is a bit of you don't really need to be a lawyer in a way, because there's not that much law. Negligence, as we've discussed on many occasions, is fairly commonsensical. You can assess where there is negligence. There's some law involved, but generally, if someone's gone to the back of you, the person's liable. If someone's coming to the side of you.
But still experience, when it comes to the lawyer, the experience obviously comes over the years. A lot of
assessing the injury, assessing the kind
in
of
the
claim
same
you
lawyers,
might not make.
in the same, let's say, for example, sector of personal injury. If I go to a newly qualified personal injury solicitor, and somebody else, goes to you, someone who's been in the industry for 20 years, you've seen these companies like, rise and fall right in front of your eyes. So of course, you would have, not only you, people like yourself would have more experience in this industry.
Oh, absolutely. We've got more experience. But like I say, most cases are fairly, they're not simple because, like I said, liabilities generally should be fairly simple, but often it's not, because that's how lawyers, I always say, lawyers make their money out of disputes, and there are often disputes about liability, and then it is useful to have experience. But the way the industry is going is that generally people are using more factory-like methods. There's computers doing most of the work, generating the...
But this is always, there's a danger as well, because
more
I believe you're talking about templates.
Yes.
But in this industry, it's always, obviously, for example, like, when you're dealing with a claim, you always have to make some instant decision where although you got a template is there, which means a software, mainly software running all these cases. But sometimes the softwares, can't think instantly and change the tactic. But as an experienced lawyer, you can.
Oh, absolutely.
You can review a file and you can say straight away, hang on a minute, this is what I have to do now. But the software is unable to do that.
The software is really there just to assist, because it has to be tailored to each individual case. But there is very good software, very good software that deals with directions and how a claim should go.
Yeah.
But as you say, that everything has to be tailored to each individual case, because each individual case may be similar, but they're always different. There are individuals involved, there are different injuries involved, there are different losses involved. Some people might have a small injury which has a large effect on their life. They might not be able to do their job as a builder, or might be able to not, as in the Bangladeshi community quite often, they might not be able to pursue their career as a PCO driver because they can't drive properly, because they're back, they can't turn around to see properly, they're not enough mobile enough, and therefore it's almost catastrophic to some people, and they can't work, they can't feed their families, it's harder to get benefits now. It becomes a very difficult situation.
But this is why every case is different. This is where,
as I was saying, a small injury to someone who hasn't got a job like that, who can carry on working, is really more of an inconvenience rather than being catastrophic.
Yeah, thank you. What I'm going to explain to my audience, and now, what happens a lot of the time when they get involved in an accident, and for example, they go to a marketing company or an agent of some law firm, they don't always try and go talk to their own lawyers. Some of them don't have any communication with their lawyers. They sometimes don't feel very comfortable approaching, but obviously they don't realize talking to the lawyers is very important. Although you have the service provider, providing all the services on request of their own lawyer, but then again, it is always good to talk to their lawyer as well. If they're not too sure about certain things, because the lawyer is acting on their behalf in their favor. Therefore, it's always,
I couldn't agree more. I think that it's. I wouldn't be shy in calling a lawyer, but lawyers can be quite abrupt and quite.
But what is your experience? You're dealing with
what we deal with individuals. We deal with accident management companies. We deal with insurance companies all the time.
Yeah.
So it depends on what kind of personality you are. It may be that you prefer to go via your insurance company or accident management company and communicate to your lawyer that way, but beware if you do that communication between, when there are the more parties involved in any communication, the more chance there is of an error. I'm perhaps old school, that I prefer actually talking to the client themselves.
Thank you, Sam. We'll have to take a short break, and we'll talk about the same issue after we return from our break. দর্শক, সময় হয়ে গেল আমাদের ছোট্ট একটা বিরতি নেওয়ার। বিরতি থেকে আসার পরে আপনাদের সাথে আবার কথা হবে। So we will see you shortly after the break.